Welcome back to the pit for episode 4. Today we're going to be having our weekly rundown of what's going on in the EU Challenger scene. Today we are joined by our technical director, the man behind the scenes, the man that makes it all run nice and smooth, Seanyy, Noctum's finest. How are we, Sean?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Thank you for having me. Glad to finally be on an episode. And it's actually really nice to see some positivity and good vibes going through this. I know we planned it for a while, and it's just nice to see it all unfolding.
This was in the works for a while. God, we kept a good secret.
I uh, I feel like we let it slip a little bit more than we should, but overall, I'm happy with how it's turning out. There's things we need to work on for sure, but so far so good, mate.
So far, so good, son.
Lovely stuff.
So segment 1, potential events of the upcoming season in Modern Warfare 3 for the Challenger scene. First one on that list, Pro-Am. I mean, it was so good last year, such a nice structure, and now we've had it ripped away from us. Is the rumours we're going to be expecting no Pro-Am for the Challenger scene?
Yeah.
I mean, just what are they doing? I mean, do you want to go on a tangent before I do?
It's like you said, are we really surprised? Like, yeah, I just don't understand like the thought process, the ideas behind it. I mean, to be fair, I actually take not insult to the term pro am because I agree that they're the formats, but like it shouldn't be a pro am. That just should be how events are anyway. That should be the LAN events. So I mean, it's a bit of a cop out, but yeah, the fact that there isn't actually going to be an open event, it baffles me, mate. It does. I just don't get it. I just who are these people and who put them in charge? That's all I can say because I don't know.
I would love to be a fly on the wall at these meetings of where they're like, do you know what? No Pro-Am this year. Sounds fantastic. That is what everyone's asked for. Like, no, you bunch of wallies. Give us our Pro-Am at the beginning of the year. Now we're going to
Yeah,
have frauds in the CDL, and I say it bluntly. There's going to be frauds that are on spots that are not going to be able to get found out when they get smoked by the likes
yeah.
of the Vortexes, the Barnces. Like, it's just not going to happen, and they're just robbing a living off the players that should be in there, quite frankly. Not saying them
Yeah.
players in that aren't good, but there's better players. You can already see
No,
that, and
but
we're not going to get to see it. We've been robbed.
but like you just said, mate, like there's some names down in that like challenges bit, and there has been for ages that you just think like it's scary the talent down there, and there's no infrastructure, there's no even like willingness to actually put a progression path and like put them against the people already in the CDL and like challenge for them spots. And like there's a reason that orgs are dropping out like flies, right? And I'm pretty confident if it stays the same way, which it doesn't seem any change, you'll see players just disappear. There's
Yeah.
nothing for them, mate. It's
But
ridiculous.
there isn't nothing for them, and what was for them, they've took away. So the event that was rumored, like, was we were told by credible sources that this is 99% happening. It will most probably be a Pro-Am. Like, it is an Atlanta DreamHack is still gonna go ahead from what we're getting told, and it's going to be a launch weekend with no AM teams. So what that looks like is probably just some friendly exhibition matches showcasing the new game, still on the same dates in December. Completely wild. We're going to get to see some COD, yeah, granted, but like, great.
It's it, it's a lot of smoke to cover up a lot of shit. Excuse my French, like it just is. Like there's no sugarcoating it. It's just the way it is, right? Like just don't know, mate. Brain dead, honestly. I could honestly sit here and vent for hours, but I don't think that's going to be good for the overall episode. But it's just ridiculous.
I think this first segment is going to be a lot of venting because moving on next, we've got Boston. So let's start. We've got 4 majors next year. That is the rumoured proposal. We've got 4
Hmm.
majors. The first one's going to come January 25th to 28th, which the dates make sense as last year a Boston worker tweeted out saying that 25th to 28th expect another event here next year. That's what we're looking at. And that rolls into major one, 25th of Jan to the 28th. It's going to be Boston again. Now, as good as the Boston event was fantastic. Like,
So many issues.
so many issues, right? With the weather for sure, and like people are already coming out and saying like, can we just go somewhere else? Like, can we have something different?
Yeah.
Because the events we're going to talk about after this that are proposed as well, like, there's not much scenery change. So,
No.
are we just going to keep going to like the 4 or 5 organizations in the CDL that are actually like doing it right. Like we're just going to go to them and ignore everything else and go nowhere else. So you take a pro-am away from us, and in stage 1 we get Boston again.
Mm. I think there's a severe lack of majors as well. Like, there's a 5 in total. Is it 5?
4 majors and a
Well,
champs.
yeah. There you go. 4 and champs. Like, it's actually absurd. Like, there should be so many more than that throughout the year. Like, it just doesn't make sense. There's a crazy, ridiculous break as well, which every player is gonna hate. Everyone in challenges is gonna hate. Like, it just everything that they've done. Like, and I know these turnaround. I don't know how recent it was, but they said like, oh, we're gonna sit down and properly look at like the infrastructure and make them changes, and it's gonna be positive. Like, I hope that they don't class these changes of what they've done as positive. I really don't, because we are actually so far lost. It's untrue.
I said this earlier to uh, someone very credible in the scene
Mm,
that I think we're in the final year of the CDL and the current challenger structure, and this is quite frankly going to get very ugly before it gets better and goes full circle. The people that
yeah.
remain through this last year and manage to reap the benefits of, if it's even in 3 years' time of when it goes full circle, will then be the ones at the top. I just think
Hmm.
right now stuff is going to get extremely ugly as this proposed schedule looks.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I'm gonna make a really poor example, but for the past couple of years now, like, challenges especially, but Call of Duty as a whole, like, it has been the same as a toxic ex that you should never have like messaged again or spoken to. Like, we all keep clinging on and climbing back, and like it just gets worse and worse. It just shouldn't happen, mate. Like, I'm sorry to say, but it's true. Like, it's ridiculous. It actually is. Like Boston as well. It's probably going to be freezing again, like last time. Everyone will be sat there, buddy, shivering, trying to play and shoot. I don't know. I'm not against the venue. It's a
No,
wonderful venue. The event ran well, but like, it's just, it's
yeah,
like you said, it's planning and times, right? And like, are you gonna keep consistently going to the same 3 or 4 that are actually like running and doing well? Like, it just doesn't
yeah.
make sense.
Well, yeah, like this is no slander on Boston. I actually think Boston, and I've said this on
Yeah.
multiple occasions, are probably like one of the best orgs, if not the best, in terms of supporting the grassroots and throwing these
Agreed.
events to the community. Like, I actually think they're absolutely fantastic, and it's no shade to them. But yeah, like we're just going to go to the same events because like the other 70% of the league that you've allowed into this franchise Super League are actually terrible.
Yeah. Awful. God awful, mate.
So yeah, so that's major 1. Major 2 to 4. Now this gets even more laughable, right? We can already guess. Right, so Toronto and Optic,
Yeah.
they've both got an event. Like, we're all super surprised. Yeah, sure. Well, do we know where Optic will have that event? Possibly, maybe not. They might throw a curveball in there. Again, Hex will do excellent things. Toronto, again, no shade thrown their way, done excellent
No.
things, ran an org as they should in this franchise model. But then this is really laughable, right? This is the 4th one. Don't know which way this goes. However, the 4th name that's meant to be hosting an event next year is the Ravens. After leaving London in the dirt and the EU scene in the dirt, now you've gone to Carolina. Now you're telling me you want to host an event. Like, are
Mm-hmm.
you taking the absolute
Yep.
flying beep out of us all? Like, that is an absolute joke. And I hope, do you know what? I really hope that they don't get it. Because I do not know how that has all happened, how Ravens have ended up in Carolina. They've got no money, whatever else, but then going Carolina, then getting like Clayster and stuff like that, and they just left the EU in the mud. Like, I'm sure a lot of people in the EU as well are really not going to be rooting for this lot.
But to be fair, you've just touched on it, right? Like, there's nothing for them in the EU. Like, the current climate for them, it's near enough impossible as an organization, especially within Call of Duty and Challenges, to be in the EU.
Which I get, but is there anything stopping them still being the London Royal Ravens and having their team in America, as they have had their team in America anyway, and not having a facility and just having them players play from home? Like Vegas done it. Like, yeah, it's not ideal, but
No, yeah, look, it's not ideal, right? And yes, they could have absolutely done it, but again, money, the way the franchise works, like, it just makes sense to be over there, right? Like, rebranding, picking up this new team, being over now in America, and like straight away being in the name to host a LAN event, it just goes to show that like as soon as you're in and around that franchise in America over there, it just becomes so much more affordable and feasible to do so. Like you're almost climbing up a losing battle when you're coming from the EU.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to throw hate on anyone, but my one big concern with the Ravens now is that are they going to be what Paris Legion were, and they're just going to have like they're going to have no fans. There's going to be no back in there. Like, have they
I
done more
mean,
damage with the move than if they would have stayed?
it's like anything, right? I mean, that's they ain't gonna find that out until the first couple events. It's rather gonna be people will still stick to them or people will migrate, but that's just part of the decision they make, right? That's up to them to then gain followers elsewhere. But it's sad to see him go, and
Yeah, it's sad.
yeah, just
But
ridiculous.
maybe, do you know what? Maybe we'll take this all back. I will take this all back in a few months' time when the Ravens come out and say, we've got a 128 team open bracket going on, and it's going to be the biggest prize pool challenger event we've had in the CDL era. And we're all going to say, we absolutely love what you've done.
Yeah, I'll make you a promise now, mate, here and live. If that happens, I'll shave my head because it's not happening. It's not happening, mate.
Oh, I hope it happens. Someone at
No,
the Royal Ravens, we want a bald Sean.
honestly, you know what? I'll at him myself. Do it. Get him. Send him this clip. Clip it. Right. Get it sorted. Because I tell you now, it's not going to happen. But I promise you, I'd love it to happen. Love nothing more. Because like I know we touched on it a minute ago, having no pro am. That's just how the event should be, man. Like the layout for so long has got worse and worse, and it's spiraling. And players see it, we see it, people in the scene. But sat on that mighty high horse up top, mate, I don't think we can see anything. To be fair.
I mean, this is probably the biggest kick in the teeth in terms of like the game this year. Is from my personal point of view, it's most positive I've been going into one because I feel like for the first time in a long time they've been listening to what us as a community from the comp scene have been saying,
Yeah.
and what we've been saying about the way the challenges run, the CDLs run, so on and so on. They've just ignored it again, and they've made it worse. How have they made it worse? How can it get worse from Modern Warfare 2 comp year? We've got no pro-am and we've got one less event. Yeah,
Yeah.
like fantastic, right? Fair enough. It saves a bit of money for everyone having one less event,
Mhm.
but
And
it doesn't make sense. Like, just make the events like more feasible for teams to go to. Put a bit more fun in it. Don't strip one away from us. No one said we want one less.
do you know what as well? I hate to be like doom and gloom, and I don't like to slate people, but it's insulting to the players. It's insulting to
Yeah,
people in challenges. Like, don't forget people that compete, especially top end challenges. Like, they've put a lot of time and effort, money. Like, there's so much passion that goes into it, right? This is what they want to do. They've all got a goal. They try and work towards it. Like, and seeing like a global company like that not giving you any structure or support or progression system, it it'll grind away at you, and it's insulting. It genuinely is insulting, and I don't understand how they get away with it. I really don't. I mean, at this point, we should just stop watching the CDL, have a mass buddy riot, focus on challenges. But it's not going to happen. We all love COD too much to do that, and it's sad.
well, the more that we can all support challengers, and I'm not saying don't support the CDL, but the
No.
more we can take a step forward to supporting challengers more, because everyone from fans to brands to the top people,
Yeah.
we've all neglected it. Like, this is what we want. We want to see the challengers thrive. We want to see that path to pro connected more, close the gap up. Just go support. Go support your local org, not your local club. Your local org. Go support them. Go support the boys in the pit. And yeah,
But
like, it's gonna get
that's
ugly.
the thing, right? You just touched on it there, and I think you put it beautifully. Like we all, I know we've just basically thrown a bit of shade towards the CDL's way and like the franchise and stuff, but we all have a collective part to play in it, right?
Yeah.
Like there's stuff that we can do, the scene can do, the players can do to shed more light on it. And I think there is like certain organizations, certain people, players, like it has clicked a little bit, and they are slowly like trying to push it, like content and stuff, and like actually get people involved, and more people are actually following challenges teams, and it's not going to get there overnight, and we can definitely make more headway and better strives to do it. And obviously, there's great people in the scene, and I know you've shouted them out a few times, but obviously, like Rotation and all the others out there, like there is coverage on challenges, and it slowly will grow, but it's just going to take time, man, and we just got to keep sticking at it.
I agree, and hopefully we'll get there. We will. It's same as anything; it goes full circle. We'll get there, 100%. But that goes on to champs now, and champs is going to be the only chance, realistically, from this structure that we're going to have the chance of seeing an EU event. Now,
Yeah.
I really don't see that happening, and from the source that had this structure said that there's literally below a 5% chance of an EU champs happening. So
I,
again, it's not good news. I'm gonna go out on a whim and say actually something I did hear on the pipeline was Texas optic to host
yeah,
champs,
I
but then they're
saw that
hosting a
on the timeline.
major as well. So like, there's a gap in there somewhere.
So it wouldn't surprise me though, and I think, don't get me wrong, it'd be good, right? Because if you want somebody to be running it, I mean, Optic Texas are one of the bigger names in there, right? Like, they'll do great things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just wouldn't surprise me. Really wouldn't.
So, but then there was the other one as well. There was Miami, but I've heard no other word on it.
Yeah, that was
So
meant to be like rumored right at the start of the year as well, right? Or am I?
January, yeah.
Yeah.
So someone in the comments let me know if that clip that come out where he said like we're going to be playing in Miami in January, was that literally just a case of the team headquarters, and it
Well,
wasn't
I
the
mean,
case of
look,
Alam.
look, right. Everything's subjective to change. I know this like itinerary got put out there, right? And I know it's not the finished article. Obviously, there's going to be more stuff coming out this week, probably, maybe early next week. Leading up to the release. But yeah, I don't know, mate.
I hope everything we got here. I hope this structure, respectfully, is wrong. I hope there is no backbone to this structure that has come out, and it gets revised, and at least we have another major. And
I hope so,
hopefully
mate.
that helps that DreamHack one. They listen to feedback, and the DreamHack Atlanta does turn into a pro-am and not just
Yeah,
an opening weekend, because there was was it MW19? There was the opening weekend they had. I hated it.
yeah, it was. It
And
was
where they had
19.
the points and they didn't even count, right? Like you got points and didn't even go towards the league. Like there was just no point in the entire weekend. So
No.
utilize it, please. Give a pro-am. Like it would be fantastic for the scene. So yeah, so there's the potential events. That's what's come out. On to segment 2, and segment 2 is going to be the UK LAN events. Let's show this some love. And if anyone hasn't seen the Vista, they had Katana Hefe on, who said that the projected sequence for next year with their Wired Lobby partnership, their LAN venue in Middlesbrough, is to have at least 3 LANs in the UK next year, which is going to not overlap with any EU Challengers events. So to me, that tells me that there's going to be substantial money, a decent prize pool. It's going to cater to that higher end of Challenger player. So that's exciting. Exciting. That's not a word. That's exciting.
Good English.
But what do we think, Sean? Like, it's only a dub, right, for the UK scene, that?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's knowing Heffy and the other guys at Katana, right? I'm close with a few of them. It is a dub, and I know they will do great things. I've seen a few of the lads behind the scenes working, and anyone who's willing to step up like that and offer even just the free, right? That's amazing. He's gonna offer more events for these players. The players deserve more, and if he's gonna go and do it, 100%, mate, you've got my back and you got my support.
Yeah.
They're a well put together group, and the events will be good. Like I can 100% say that. So I'm excited, mate.
I'm
Really good.
I'm excited, and I'm also impressed because when I asked that question to him of how many to be expected, I mean, one, I either expect him to shut me down on the question, or two, to say like one. For him to say
Yeah.
like a minimum 3, then I mean, I'm so excited, and this is massive for them
Yeah.
players that look at this structure from the CDL for challengers and go, "That's honking." But now just coincide also 3 local LAN events in
Yeah.
that schedule, and all of a sudden, like this year looked absolutely fantastic. Like what Katana are doing for the scene right now, it cannot go under the radar. Like it's absolutely massive. I remember when I was
Yeah.
competing and I had the EEG Maltas, like that was 1, maybe 2 a year, and that was all the way in Malta. Like to get a team out there, and it wasn't overlap friendly with challengers. Like
Yeah.
this goes above and beyond that. This is absolutely huge. So
No, it does, mate. It does. And the fact that they've already got a deal and a partnership with a land center is incredible, right? It
huge.
opens up so many possibilities, and it sort of somewhat goes to show what like person he is and like Katana are. Like you said, he could have easily shot you down, but no, like 3 minimum straight away. Some may sit there and go, oh, it's only 3. Like no, like that is actually a big thing and something that the scene desperately needs, right? Like it's not to be overlooked, it's not to be sniffed at. Like it genuinely is a W.
3's huge. That then gives us 7
Yeah.
challenger levels of event. Maybe I'm losing that a bit loosely. You got 4 challenger event, and then the next best thing. They're close.
I don't think it will, mate. I don't think it will because, like, at the heart of it, obviously, well, I don't want to speak on their behalf, but I reckon they probably will cater to challenges. And there's like, I don't know what their business model is, but they could cater to other people as well. Like I said, it's not going to be that one center. Like I'm pretty sure he said openly that because they have that partnership, it could be all over, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, this is my podcast, right? This is the pit. I can say what I want on it. So
say it.
What
say
many
it.
people don't know is that when I first started Community Cups, a long time, or not a long time ago, about 6 months ago, I reached out to a LAN centre, went on Google, looked for LAN centres, and I was looking to host a local for people during the off season. Now somehow I've accidentally contacted the Y Lobby, who were in partnership with Katana, which I had absolutely no idea at the time. And when I was having the conversation with the lovely man Derek from the venue, he informed me of the partnership, everything else, and he informed me of some other things. And one of the things he informed me of was the fact that they've got another venue opening literally 40 minutes from me, if not less, in Peterborough. And he said that's literally one of a few that are going up and around the country. It's like a franchise model. So we're going to be seeing lots of LAN centres opening around the UK under what I'm assuming is the Wide Lobby franchise. And again, this just opens up opportunity to have even more COD LANs. Like, this is absolutely massive. And Katana, who are supporting the COD community, have a partnership with them. This is huge for everyone. Absolutely huge.
It goes back to what I said in the previous segment, right? If people are willing, and there is people out there, and slowly it will progress, step by step, we take these measures, mate. It can only get better, and all I can do is give them credit and props for going out there and actually doing
100%.
it, right? And we can only sit here and wait and see what the structure and the way the events run, but I've got no doubt in my mind that this is going to be good for the scene. So absolutely, mate, I'm all for it.
I'm actually thankful for it, to be honest. So, and then also other rumors that we've heard, this wasn't guaranteed by anyone from Katana, but is that they've got an online website that's been being worked on, and that's also going to give some tournaments and stuff to be worked around with these LANs. So we don't know what indicator player that's going to cater to. However, another UK tournament website alongside the company that hosts LANs, like another huge dub if them rumors are true. So I'm excited, and if they're investing in players like Dashi and Jackson and stuff like that, and sending them to these challenge events under the brand, like, it would only make sense from a business model for everything they're doing to cater around that level of player as well, to give these players the best platform of practice. So I really do think it's all going to coincide.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. I think, like I said, knowing Hef, he's got some up his sleeves, and obviously with that close relationship to Dashi, and obviously Jackson now playing with him as well, and the rest of them, it's going to be good to look at, mate, for sure.
I'm excited. So, we started off on a bit of a negative,
but here we are, mate. Positives, look, flowing.
Segment 2, an absolute vibe. So, unfortunately, that's segment 2 over. We haven't got no more vibes on that one. But into segment 3, we're going to be having a look at the teams for the first time. Now, any of the teams we're going to look at, I'm going to add the terms and conditions on this, the little stars next to it. None of these teams are 100% finalised. These are just leaked teams, some guaranteed, but just bear in mind that these can chop and change at any given minute, and especially with being challengers at the beginning of the season, when realistically this is the best chance for challengers to politely ego someone else and get the best possible team they can before getting their heads down and working with it. So we're going to look at the top 8 seeded teams as of right now. Again, as of right now, this isn't the guaranteed seed going into the first 2K. But first seed, currently under no org, and just try and keep tabs how many times I say no org in these top 8, right? It's mind-blowing. 302,000 pro points. Weeman, Maple, Harry, and Henry, who 2 of these players were under Team Notorious last year. Have Team Notorious, a fantastic organisation that was huge last year in Challengers, stepped away from the Challenger scene? I do not know. However, from an outsider point of view, looking at the socials and the ex-players' socials, it looks heavily likely, which is disappointment, right?
Very disappointing, mate. And like I said, the names you've just rattled off there, like incredible talent, and the fact that we've put no org next to it, it's baffling, mate. It's baffling. I'm actually excited to see how many times no org comes up because I guarantee it's going to be the majority, at least 90%, 100%.
Let's keep going. Second seed, no organisation, 271,000 pro points. Brezzy, Rafi, Twiz, and Cobra. Now, Cobra is the man that Avo, our first guest on the pit, predicted to be in the CDL next from the EU scene. That says everything you need to know about the caliber of player that is. Again, no org. What do you think of that, Sean?
First of all, I think that's an actual solid shout from Avo, to be fair. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. It genuinely wouldn't. Like,
No.
again, the caliber on that team, ridiculous. It says it all, right? Like, second seed, pro points, the players, and again, no org. Like, from a person who's like in an organization and working around it now, like it's truly saddening. It's actually saddening to see that teams like this don't have like any backing from like obviously people like ourselves and stuff. Like, players deserve so much more in structure, in backing, in marketing. Just everywhere in this challenger scene, it is just severely lacking, and it's honestly saddening, mate. You're gonna make me cry in a minute.
Well, there's only 2 down, mate. So let's go into seed number 3. Openly looking for an org, right? So the captain's Twitter yesterday, they've tweeted out saying they're looking for an org. The email's there. So, but we'll get into the team quickly. 253,000 pro points. Vortex, Gizmo, Mythics, and Mordy. Looking for an org. Now, I don't know these players personally. I don't know what they're like to work with. But the top 3 teams, how haven't these lads got an org? Gizmo, by the way. Gizmo, who's on London Royal Ravens in Vanguard, possibly one of the better players in the league at the time. Still sits in Challengers 2 years later. Still sits in Challengers.
I'll happily agree with you on that. He definitely was one of the better players. 100%.
I think he was outstanding.
No doubt about it.
Am I a professional analyst, a professional caster? You know, no. But mate, from my point of view, he's unbelievable.
And again, mate, the top 3 teams we've read out, household names within Challengers.
Vortex. A 1.3 win ratio in Challengers over the last 2 years, I was told. Is that stat true? I don't know, but I think so. It sounds about right, don't it? Absurd. Yeah. It's not in the CDL.
Nope. Crazy, mate.
So, seed 4. Have a guess. No org.
Is it no org?
No org. 175,000 pro points going into the season. Super, Renkor, Sukri, and Yako. Gross team. Absolute gross.
You're gonna tell me that everything's no org, aren't you? I'm waiting for that one time you slip up here.
We'll have to see, but I mean, vile team though, by the way. And seed 4, like I think they're in for a really good year, like really good year. So 5th seed again, captain tweeted out, or what we assumes the captain tweeted out yesterday, saying they were looking for an organisation. Now this one's going to blow your mind. Yes, these names are right.
Have I got a seatbelt before you?
Yeah. 5th seed in the European Challenger scene for Modern Warfare 3. Hixie, Barnes, Beans, and Nasty, 4x CDL pros from last year, are your 5th seed in the EU Challengers scene, and yes, they do not have an organisation. I'm not an organizer, I don't know the dynamics, but this seems absolutely crazy to me. If I've got some money in an organisation, again, I don't know the dynamics. I'm just take it. Just take it. Is the check.
It's difficult, mate. It is difficult because, like, as much as like that's an org owner's dream, right, to have a team like that, like, just incredible players. Some of them still should be in the CDL, in my opinion. Like, it's baffling that they're not. And as much as people are probably like begging or praying that they pick them up, like, the current climate, sometimes it's just not worth it, mate. Like, it's not feasible for teams, like, financially, or just like it just doesn't fit. But the fact that they haven't got an organisation is just it's baffling, mate.
Well, the second part of this, after the top 8, right, is going to surprise everyone, and then we're going to see why that's how it is, and that's going to make more sense in a few minutes. So, 6th seed, only a 3-man team by now, however, have got 6th seed, and I mean, they had to go on there. They had to be counted for. I mean, because 6th seed with only a 3-man's typical. So we've got Dizzy, F. Dot, and Pack. who I actually have been told today that may look different. So news in the last hour that might look a bit different, that team, but they're 6th seed for now. Again, a gross 3-man, really great seed. They've got great pro points going into the next year, so unbelievable. Again, to my knowledge, none of them players are signed under an organisation in any capacity. So,
is there a rumoured fourth at all or not?
So the rumor is that 2 of them are going a separate way to the 3rd to join potentially another 2 or a solo. We're unsure, but maybe 2 of them are going to branch off and look at other options. That's what I've been told. Is it true? Who knows? People let me know. Then 7th seed, right? So we don't know if they have an org. I mean, me and Sean should know out of anyone if they do. However, one of the players, the captain, has an org in their name, in their Twitter bio. So 74,000 pro points going into this year. It is Rezi, and it is Rezi's name who still has Noctum in the bio. So is that a player that is just with the org? Is this I don't know. We don't know. Someone let me know. Jack, please tell me.
No comment.
Yeah, we have no idea. So it is Rezi, Genesis, Cruz, and Detain. Now, if that is the 4-man org or no org, can Detain return to his MW19 form of where he won literally everything with that Team Singularity roster in Challengers? Because if so, that as a 7th team, I mean, out of that top 8 list, in terms of like what makes the most sense financially, I mean, that might be one you go, that's the one.
Well, it's like you said, right? Detain, incredible player, literally won it all, right? Like, very, very talented. Rezi, again, very talented. The other 2, Genesis and Cruz, like that roster is, like you said, from a financial standpoint, an appealing one because you're not breaking the bank, but at the same time, there's talent there, right?
Yeah, it's like,
and like
the happy medium.
I think, and like for them sort of players as well, they're only going to improve. Like the sky's the limit, mate. Sky's the limit.
I mean, if that is the roster, then that's exciting. Would that roster make sense as well? Cruz, I don't know. Rezi and Genesis, I know they played together in a Community Cup, which is nowhere near the size of this, but they play together. Like, obviously, they've been vibing together in the off-season, so maybe. I don't know. Again, terms and conditions apply. And then 8th seed going into this, again, no org. So we've had 7 teams with no org, one where one player is with an org, but we don't know if the team is. So 8th seed, no org, 73,000 pro points. Keza, Maestro, who is Chunk's duo, or was going into this season, bear that name in mind. And then Nile and Chaxter. So Chunk isn't in there, so maybe Maestro and Chunk split that I didn't know of. And Chaxter, I think this is a solid team. This is a really solid team. I mean, Nile had a great year last year as well. So the return of Chaxter, like man has made multiple champs. You know, made great runs. Like, huge name. Like anyone that likes challenges is going to know this man's name. So
and just from them top 8 teams alone, right? Some of the matchups there, it's unbelievable.
A top 8.
You're almost sat you sat here licking your lips, mate. You just want it to happen. You need it. Like I can't wait, honestly.
Yeah, from a spectator
and
point of
that's
view,
just
like,
the top seeds as well.
What? And this might not even be the top 8. Like by the time we get to...
confirmed. Yeah.
So true. Like some of these teams might even drop down to like, I don't know, 16th seed, maybe not quite that, 12th seed. So like, holy stacked, get me into that first elite. So again, 7 teams are definitely no orgs, and 1's a question mark because 1 player might be. So let's go on to the next bit of this. Notable teams to keep an eye on. Now, again, right, let's just the start of this. Katana roster, so an organisation. Dashi, Lampy, Jackson, and Fringe. I don't know if it's Fringe or Fringe, but Fringe, I think you're right. And I think I saw on the timeline, right, that Jackson is actually housed with one of these teammates going into the new season. So the vibes there is going to be unmatched.
Amazing.
This team has got an org. We don't know what capacity the contract is, or they're being funded, what's involved, but they're playing under an org, probably getting some help to go to an event. And they are going into this now 17th seed. So probably by the time it comes around, you're looking at mid-20s. And then next, again, right, so there's no org here yet. However, he was the Pit episode 1 guest. So Team Avo, who I might have intel, right? I might have intel that after the episode of the pit, #1 episode, this man has got an organisation for his team. We're not going to leak any more details. So,
Is it confirmed though?
I have been told
You
by
can tell
both
me that.
parties that it's confirmed.
Nice. Okay.
So both
okay.
parties have told me that it's confirmed. We believe that they met through the pit, or were aware of each other through the pit, which is absolutely fantastic here. I'm smiling.
Awesome.
So we've managed to connect 2 different people here. Absolutely unbelievable. So again, going into this, right, they've got an org sorted, to our knowledge. They're going to have 17k pro points, I think, if that's right. And it is Avo, Infinity, Laco, and JM2RE. So by the time that gets into the season, I think Avo told me that they're going to be expecting around a mid-20 seed as well, on the low 20 seed, mid-20 seed area. So that's 2 teams around the 20 seed area that have orgs.
Mm-hmm.
And now let's go a little bit further down. 22 Esports, again, organisation, right? This team, they have around 5k pro points altogether. It is Powerhouse, Zappy, Luto, an unnamed 4th who was named, but I don't know if it's official, so I'm not going to drop the name. It is a name that I was actually surprised at the team with, just because I didn't know the man, so maybe it's a Powerhouse contact. But looked at his pro points, as good pro points. Do you know who it is?
It is confirmed, but obviously I won't leak.
No, out of my respect to that brand and what they've done for me, I'm not going to drop anything.
Always have a soft spot for them boys, so keep my mouth zipped on this one, but yeah.
But again, we're probably looking at like a 50 seed team that has an organisation. Like, honestly, make it make sense. And I'm going to tell you how it makes sense, because right now, investing in that top end of challengers, and especially the top end, the top 6 teams, it doesn't make sense because the money isn't there. However, the people on the lower end are willing to do the content and the other stuff to be beneficial to a brand. That way, they don't require as much funding, and that is just where challenges is at right now. You're going to see orgs more likely funding to the lower half of challengers, maybe dipping in the top end in the top 10s to top 16s, but right at the top, it's going to be very hard to invest your money and see any sort of return on it.
Yeah. And to go back to it, I mean, we touched it in segment 1, I can't actually fathom how they don't see it, they don't pick up on it. Like, there's no way that it should be this impractical for orgs to get involved and actually be a part of Call of Duty. Like, it's if not the biggest esport going still to this day. Like, and there's nothing there for it. Like, it's sad. Honestly, mate, it's sad.
So
bring back CWL, man. Bring it back.
Roll it back. So, like, out of the top 25 seeds right now, again, subject to change, no one in the top 10 has an org apart from one player who has someone's at in their bio, which is Resi. Anyone inside the top 10 seeds does not have a team. 11th seed have Anakin Corp, who I'm not familiar with that at. And then we've got seed 15 in Katana. Again, that's right now the seed. Seed 16, Esport Voltage. Seed 18, Pure Esport. Seed 19, Ragnarok Gaming. Seed 20, V7 Esports. And seed 24, 22 Esports. So you hear the numbers, the names. So 10 seed down is where you start to see investment. And there's a correlation there, right? You don't start seeing multiple org names in that lower portion for no reason. Yeah,
it's just impractical, mate. Like, say you invest in them top teams, unless they, like, even if they win, like, everything, it's near enough still making evens or loss. Like, after you've paid for, obviously, funding, salaries, like,
I don't think you can make a profit unless you gain a sponsor through content around the team.
True.
Or if you sell a player to the CDL that's under contract. Like, Wobba Bob's probably made a profit last year. I think he come out and said they did. Don't, hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure they made a slight profit.
Yeah.
So there we are. I mean, it's broken top to bottom. Our Pro-Am's gone. And we have 4 majors. But Katana Gaming might save the UK squadron with some local lands.
Let's hope, eh? Let's hope.
But, I mean, some exciting teams in there as well. And I just want to shout out some of the names that I haven't seen. Like I didn't mention, by the way, on the team list, which absolutely should like the coaches. So Team Hixie have got Marky B as a coach and challengers. Like
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And then Team Vortex has got Denza as a coach, Rayless as an assist, and then Roper as well. Like, what on earth? The holy stat. Cynical Cod, he's all the way at seed number 1 with Horrid Harry and Maple and Wee Man. So again, unbelievable. And then we got Socko on Avo's team, who just for now Team Avo, but there might be a leak there. So it's great to see coaches and some analysts and everything still, helping the scene as well, helping the players. So the foundation's still there, but it needs more help.
Definitely, mate. Like I said, foundations are there, but I think it's still lacking enough people to actually make a positive change. And I think as much as obviously we can sit here and all like complain about it, at the same time, it's gonna because they're useless. It's gonna be on us. It is gonna have to be on us to make them changes, or at least force their hand.
100%, 100%. And I mean, I'm going to touch on it again, which is why we see players, even the top of my head, like Dave, right? That is why you see that top percentage of players in challenges like that have been on the fringe of the Pro League for many years. Why they're leaving? Because it doesn't make sense for the org to back them top end teams. Therefore, there's no sustainable income for them players, and the prize pool hasn't been there. So that is why we're seeing players get to the top of challenges, not make the CDL, and then they do not have a very long period before they have to leave to go get a 9 till 5 because financially just isn't sustainable. So again,
players deserve better, mate.
Players deserve better, and if in any way anyone can aid these players by even just viewing, gonna go buy an org jersey, anything, interacting with their content, literally anything, then please do it, because if there's ever been a time, it's now that it's needed.
Bring back the pool play, bracket play, all of the good things.
Yep. And anyone listening from Call of Duty, give us back our bloody pro-am, you bunch of menaces.
Yes, definitely. I agree.
But, I mean, that's a wrap, Sean, for episode 4 and our first ever weekly breakdown of challenges. How are we feeling?
Thanks for having me, mate. I'm loving it. I'm glad to be here. It's flew by, actually, to be fair. I don't think, has that been an hour already? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's flown by. It's absolutely flown by, but we could go all night on it. But let us know in the comments what you thought of this and anything that we've touched on that's wrong and anything else that we should have touched on. And as ever, let me know who you want to see in the pit next.